Coming in hot with a win against FlyQuest, I'm Kelsey here with 100 Thieves Meteos with coverage presented by Omni Slash. So, you guys went 2-0 this week. You guys were in a slump for a little bit. Do you guys think you have your groove back now?
Well, I think we're doing a lot better than we were before. It's hard to really say for sure, we're never going to lose another game. But I think we've definitely moved in the right direction a lot. We're working together a lot better now. It seems like everyone's enjoying themselves more when we practice, that kind of stuff, which I think is really important, honestly. Even if the team's winning, if you're not getting along perfectly, then, it's not going to last. So I always value, good team cohesion and chemistry, and then, the wins sort of happen naturally.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of teams' morale is the big decider in how well they do during the weeks. And you hear from a lot of teams that are slumping that, things aren't always right with the connections in between teammates. But you would say you guys right now have, a pretty cohesive friendship, like you just said?
I think for sure we're a lot better than we were before. I think that, we started the season with a pretty good record, so it's hard to really, not get along when you're winning. But, after we started losing, everyone's got, different views on what they want to do. So it's just about, staying together, having each other's backs while also trying to work through differences and play style and that kind of stuff. So I think we've done a really good job on that. I think we still, have some work to do on how we play. It's not like we're perfect or anything, but definitely moving in the right direction and looking forward to continuing that.
All right. Well, speaking on today's game, you guys brought out the Blitzcrank, and now I think a lot of people know that that's one of Afro's pocket picks. But have you guys been practicing playing the Blitzcrank?
I don't think we actually played Blitz in a scrim, but they picked this super just full committed to poke comp. And when they have something like that, it's basically we're just saying, okay, if we get any engage whatsoever, we win the fight. So Blitzcrank looked really good there. They banned out Alistair Braum. And, we all trust Zach. He's a really good player. He pulled out Thrush the day before, and Blitzcrank looked really good here. So we're go for it, dude.
So I want to take it back to yesterday's game against Cloud9. You guys won there, and you guys won against your other half, Sneaky, and then you guys were on the alt stream together, which was absolutely hilarious, by the way. How is the dynamic between you two when one beats the other? Is it all fun and games? Do you guys meme each other later, or do you have?
I don't think the result of the game matters too much between me and Sneaky. He doesn't get fazed by anything, so a loss doesn't bother him. Sometimes I get a little butthurt if I lose, if I feel like we could have done a lot better, if things just fell through. But no, we've always been really cool. After our first loss, we both had features, and we were just talking to each other after that game, when I lost to them. And then this time we beat them, and we're always chill. It doesn't really affect anything too much.
Aw, good friendship. Good between lovers. No, I'm just joking. So now I want to talk a little bit about the upcoming patch 8.4. Have you been keeping track of what's been going on? Because I feel like some LCS pros, it's they're so into the patch that LCS is played on that they don't really look ahead. But I think it's coming out either next week or this week. So have you been experimenting or thinking about it? Because there's the removal of Tracker's Knife, which a lot of junglers have really debated on, saying that it will really affect the game. What's your opinion on it?
It's definitely going to be a weird patch. I've been playing some solo queue, but I feel like I'm going to have to wait till scrims start to really get a feel for what the game's like without Tracker Knife. Because right now, pretty much one of the most common things you see in games is junglers recall when they can buy Tracker Knife, and then they go and they get Vision down. And I'm a pretty big fan of the Vision game. I think it's fun controlling Vision as jungler, because it's not just the case that I put down all my wards, now nothing happens, I'm AFK farming. It's more the case that it's kind of a balancing act between we're going to put down our Vision here because we're stronger, and if they try to contest this Vision line, we can get a fight here. So on one hand, I think Vision can start a lot of fights. So I'm a little worried that if there's just no Vision, everything's dark outside of trinkets and control wards, it might actually make the games slower and less fun, because generally in pro play, it's not the case that it's I can go in here, and if the jungler's not there, I win, and if he is there, I'm dead. Usually if that's the situation, people will just say, okay, I'm not going to go in here. So it might lead to a lot more like passive gameplay. It's not much vision, but who knows? It's really hard to predict that kind of thing. Maybe it'll be a good change, but I think it's definitely going to take a lot of getting used to for competitive games.
Speaking of one of the champions that's probably going to be affected most by this change is Lee Sin. I feel like it's been a pretty hot topic on Reddit and on Twitter if he's even going to be useful anymore. But you would know best. I mean, you have your fair share of games on Lee Sin. Do you have an opinion on how it's going to go out?
I'd say my Lee Sin's infamous more than anything because I don't know. My history with that champ's really weird. He's never a champ that I've been like super in love with, but I have played him when he's good. And I remember I won a lot of games on Lee Sin when I like played him back in, season 4 and 5. But then, we lost to SKT at Worlds with Lee Sin, and now all of a sudden my Lee Sin's the biggest meme. And it's actually like, I think Lee Sin's a really confidence-based champion, and ever since then, it's just hard for me to pick him because it's like, every Lee Sin player is going to mess up some stuff, but for me, it's just like, I feel like if anything goes wrong, everyone's like, Meteos, Lee Sin, and it's like, obviously, like, I try not to let that stuff get to me too much, but it does kind of rattle me a bit. So I've been staying away from the champ a bit. I'm not necessarily, like, the Lee Sin expert. If there's other stuff to play, I'd rather play that. But as far as no tracker knife, I think that is going to make his life a lot harder. What I've seen some people do is getting like a really early Targon's or Relic Shield, and then just like when you gank, you just stack that up, and maybe mid game you'll have your wards back. So I think that's an option, but I think he will be kind of weak because he's not played too much now. Anyway, well, not at least in competitive games. Yeah. I hope they do something for him because Lee Sin's just like a fun champion. He's one of people's favorite junglers to play, to watch. So I hope they don't just like leave him in the dust.
All right. And going even farther into the upcoming patches, have you looked at all on Pathfinder's Knife? So the new jungle item that's going to replace all the jungle items. I think it's a weird change, but you would know better. Have you started looking into that and how it's going to affect the game?
Well, did they confirm that they're adding it? Because last I heard it was on the PBE and they were just testing it out, seeing if they want to add that to the game. And I think it'd probably be better than just blue and red smite, because one thing that's been weird about red smite, basically since it's been a thing, is that it really slants any jungle duel, basically, because it's like you're exhausting and igniting the dude that you're fighting. 20% damage reduction is a ton. It might not seem like a lot when you're hit with the effect, but red smite definitely, if you red smite the enemy jungler and he doesn't red smite you back, there's almost no way to lose that fight unless you just are way weaker. So getting rid of that part of the smiting mechanic might be a good thing in the long run, because it'll make it so jungle fights are more balanceable around something that's not just the smite. And then also it'll free you up from having to buy a million control words, because a big part of jungling is that vision control. And I find myself when I come out of base getting 2-3 control words every time, and that does hurt your gold income, because a lot of times in competitive games you're not just farming all your camps. It'll be I come out of base, I go for a play, and then the play works, I recall, and then we go for another play. So I'm not actually ever farming, and I'm spending the money I do get on wards. So Pathfinder could be cool, gives you a free control word, and then if you counter jungle you get more control words. So I think it'd probably be a pretty good change.
And last thing on the patch, we are going to see Zoe get nerfed to the ground. Have you ever thought she was OP, or are you excited to see this happen and probably see her never appear for a while in competitive play? Because you went up against her today, and she's just annoying, and I'm sure you might feel the same, yeah?
Well, I don't know. I'm split on it. I think that Zoe has some really, really oppressive aspects to her that's just not fun to play against, but I kind of wish they went about the nerfs in a different way. So for me, the thing that has always felt the most unfair about Zoe is just that you don't really know what she's doing a lot of the time. And something I mentioned it on Twitter when I was talking to Doublelift, but I wish there was a change that kind of made it more evident when she has her Q out. When you're playing Zoe, you have a really big indicator knowing where your Q is. But when you're playing against her, a lot of the time the Q's off screen, and you don't even know you're about to get hit by a Q that's going to do half your health. So I wish they just kind of gave her more readability on what she's doing, which is a change they've done for other champs too. Like imagine playing against Kane if you didn't have that little like circle where he's going to come out of the wall. It'd be so annoying. And with Zach, they made it so the indicator for where his E's going to land shows up earlier. And those kind of changes don't necessarily lower the power of the champion, but it just makes it feel more fair to play against. Like you just understand what's going on. So I would like to see that kind of change for Zoe more so than just like gutting her numbers. But I do think I've seen her a little bit in solo queue. She doesn't seem that bad, but I think she's a pretty cool champion. Like outside of some things like Eing from a mile away and one-shotting you is kind of lame, but I think she has a lot of skill expression and outplayability. She's easy to kill, and so I think those things are pretty cool about her. So I'd like to see her stay around, but maybe just in a healthier version.
Very insightful answers. I felt like I learned a lot in these last few minutes. Is there anything else that you would like to say to your fans out there?
Well, thanks to all the fans who stuck with us. Hopefully we keep improving and getting better, and that's about it.
All right. Well, congratulations on the win. Good luck with the rest of the season. And for everybody else, if you want to find all things esports, check out the channel. Oh, hey. You might remember me from Travis's video when I was stealing fruit from the LCS, and yeah, that's kind of the only reason I come here. But anyways, while you're here, thank you for watching, subscribe, and thank you to OmniSlash for supporting.